Hello and welcome to another episode of The Call Box. It's where you go for police info. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, here again with my co-host, PIO Sergeant Rob Scherer.
Thanks, boss. Good to be here.
And around the table, we have PIO Sergeant Jen Zag.
Glad to be back.
PIO Sergeant Lorraine Fernandez. Welcome back to the show.
She doesn't seem very glad to be here.
I am so excited to be here.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about what we know, how to prevent or at least mitigate property crimes related to our properties and our homes and things. Now,
Deterrence.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to talk about little things that we can do, that anybody can do, regardless of where they're at, to safeguard their stuff. That what we've talked about in the past is that property crimes are crimes of opportunity, and what we're trying to do is remove those opportunities, or at least reduce or mitigate those opportunities, and safeguard our stuff.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, our stuff. This is valuable stuff to us on a personal level. This is our houses, our cars, everything inside our house. I think when we'll go out to some burglary calls, we're taking calls, we're writing down the stuff and the value and everything that's taken, but I think the value is so much more for our stuff. So anything we can do as a community, anything we can teach as a law enforcement agency to our citizens to help them safeguard that stuff that's probably more valuable than that dollar amount.
Personal. It's personal. Somebody invaded your space if they break into your house, and it's a different feeling.
Yeah, you work hard to keep that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really big key for me. I lived alone for the longest time, so to know that if someone made entry into my home and invaded that space, there's this safety factor that you just feel that's violated.
Yeah, and there's so many things we can do, and take care of each other. Before we get in, I'm sure in the second segment we can get into some of the bigger things and really go through specifics, but taking care of each other as a neighborhood. I think even if your neighbor has that happen, man, there's an element of, man, that happened right next door. Someone saw an opportunity and went after that. Why? What can I do to help my situation in my home?
And before we go into the break, let's start small. Let's start with our cars and our personal space and our vehicles. Let's hit that. Jen, what do you have for us as far as keeping our cars and the content safe?
Something that's kind of common right now are individuals going through your neighborhood checking your door locks. So a lot of us park in the driveway. When you park in your driveway, keep your valuables out of your car. Take that extra step, take them into your house. A lot of us have video cameras, and lock your doors. Don't leave anything inside, because it's a crime of opportunity. Individuals like to come around, check those doors, easy open, grab whatever's in there, and a lot of us keep extra change in our ashtray. Sometimes you keep weapons in your car and you don't want them to have access to that, your purse, your wallet, and I've seen it happen. Not when you run into a daycare. Lock your car, take your purse with you, take that extra second and get that extra step.
Take the kids with you.
Take the kids with you
And keep
too.
shoes in the car, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lorraine, what are some of the things that you remember seeing most often as far as people being victimized? What kind of things can we learn from those cases, like how to protect our cars and our stuff?
Honestly, it was really the fact that they didn't lock their doors. That's a huge one. And there was actually some that actually left their keys on the visor for a quick, they had to leave in the morning really quickly. They didn't want to make noise because their significant other was asleep or their kids were asleep, so they wanted to be kind of quick in and out. But those are all just really, really easy opportunities for people to just go start the car and be gone.
Yeah. I think just slow down. When we're getting out of our car, listen, I get out of my car and I'm on the phone sometimes with you, boss, but I'll be on the phone and you forget steps 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden you're in the house, and it's mindless because it's something we do, it's repetitive, it's something we think is something we're gonna do every time. Just double check. There's so many times I'm inside the house and I'm like, I don't know if I did this, and I'm slamming that lock button just to make sure. If you have lighting outside, use that. If you want lighting, if it's a really dark driveway and you want lighting, get one of those, floodlights that motion censored. Trust me, the opportunists that are running through your neighborhood don't want motion lights, because then the person that's up at 3 a.m. is going, what's that motion light? So they don't want any part of that. Have that part of your outdoor decor, if you will, to enhance that safety of your property.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an environmental thing that's changed over the years, or maybe just cars or lifestyle is different, but do you guys remember warming up the car?
Yes.
It was cold. We had 2 cold days out of the year where you go out there, you have to turn the car on and let it heat up a little bit.
Now you can do it remotely.
Well,
Keep your
yeah,
car
thank
locked,
goodness.
so.
But I mean, some people we've actually had but go out there, start their cars, and go back and finish their coffee, their breakfast, and that kind of thing, leave a car running in the driveway. Yeah. So another thing to be wary of. So after the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about the home safety and protecting your stuff for every occasion. Stick around.
I'm a Little League coach. And I'm a Phoenix police detective, and I'm part of the team here too.
Find endless career options with one of America's best large employers.
Welcome back to the call box, and we're talking about, with our PIO sergeants, how to keep our homes and property safe, our residences safe. Now, there is something that's echoed and amplified by our community action officers. It's a program, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. Jen, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. It's called CPTED, or Crime Prevention Through Environmental Designs. It's just designs around your house or your business or wherever you're at that will help deter crime. It doesn't necessarily prevent, but it gives extra steps to prevent somebody from committing a crime against you.
Yeah, and I think, again, we've said this multiple times, but crimes of opportunity, if something looks covered and someone can get close to your window or whatever and be hidden, obviously that's more inviting. Where some of these designs are to keep that, mitigate some of that stuff to where they look at it and go, that's not really as opportunistic as I want.
Yeah, something like cactus outside of your window, or the bars on the windows. Like back in the day when I grew up, we always had the bars on our windows.
So. And going back to the cactus thing, it goes part of the lighting, the landscaping, and the locks. Those are the 3 L's to remember. And she said cactus in front of your windows. That's huge, because if you have just a regular bush in front of your window, somebody could use that to hide behind and get into that window. But if you have cactus, they're not going to want to stand on a cactus.
Yeah, so I mean, you can choose the landscaping, but do it with purpose. You
Correct.
can do a lot of things that I think will help make just deter the thief from getting that close up to your building. But really, what I remember learning was making the property appear lived in. Obviously, we know that people will break into vacant homes, or if they think a home is for sale, or if they think it's being unoccupied or not being watched or cared for. Those kind of invite all kinds of criminal activity. But making your home appear lived in, how do we do that?
Well, you manicure your front yard. You make it look like someone cares about that. And obviously, if someone cares about that, they walk past it every day, a couple times a day, to get in and out of their house. There's different elements of lighting. We talked about floodlights in the first segment. That's something that you can definitely do that makes it look like someone cares about the things in front of their house and their home, period.
Yeah, so for me, I have a maintenance guy that comes once a month and trims everything in the front yard. But one thing that I think a lot of people do miss is, and it's good intention, people trying to get business, they'll come and they'll leave their business card on your front doors. And a lot of times when you leave those things, because not a lot of people use their front doors to go in and out of their house daily, a lot of us just go through our garage. So making sure that those are pulled and so that way it doesn't appear vacant.
It's like the modern version of, hey, can you pick up the paper off my front lawn so they don't stack up?
Exactly.
You guys remember the paper?
I do.
Yeah.
We all do.
So what are the things that, so you did a lot of community events, Jen.
I did.
You talked to a lot of home owners, residents, apartment dwellers, those types of things. What kind of advice would you give to them?
So one of the most important, and I know a lot of people at the end of the day want to turn their lights off, shut their lights off at night because they're going to sleep and they don't want to brighten everything. Well, the good idea, or save money in some cases, but a good idea is to leave your lights on at night to light up your driveway, the side of your house, because people who don't want to be seen want to remain hidden. So if they're trying to break into your house, they want to remain hidden, and that light will be a deterrent. Something else to remember is locks. As weird as it sounds, we all have those power boxes on the outside of our house. They're easily accessible. A lot of people don't think about it. Put a lock on that. It keeps them out. Even your back gates. Put a lock on your back gate. Why? Because if somebody goes into your backyard and they want to take something out, that lock will force them to have to go over a wall or over a fence if they want to, which is yet another deterrent.
And don't be the guy like, say, me, that just throws the lock in there and doesn't lock it, okay, for convenience. Take the extra time.
Stick and a rubber band.
I'm not saying I've been yelled at by my wife for that once or twice, but yeah, I do have a lock. It's just not locked. Terrible idea. Don't do that. Obviously, that's one. They might look at it and be scared off for that, but they might already be at the gate and just flip it and gain access. And don't half-step it. Go all the way and take care of yourself.
So, Lorraine, what about trash and signaling interior contents through your trash and your bulk trash? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what do you mean?
So
that's a huge one, actually, especially around the holidays. People get these big elaborate gifts like new TVs or golf clubs or something. They all come in big boxes. So instead of breaking the boxes down and putting them in their trash, they just leave them out for bulk pickup. Don't do that, because people are like, ooh, this is what they got for Christmas. I'm going to target their house.
This exact thing happened to me. I
Oh,
finally
no.
got my big TV. I decided to take a big box that had big TV and just put it there. And my wife was like, absolutely not. Drug it all the way back in and said, you will cut this box up. And then she's like, now they know we have a big TV in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I want people to know I have a huge TV. That's part of my, it gives me a little oomph. But she's like, absolutely not. You
Well,
will
take a
cut that back out.
selfie and
Yes,
post it.
that's what she said. She's like, we'll let everybody that needs to know. But
That's totally a guy flex thing, by
Yeah.
the way.
All right, weapons in the home. How do we secure them?
If you have a safe, make sure that you're using your safe to secure them. If you have a weapon in your bedroom, also there's little safes that you can attach to your bed frame. There's a lot of ways to do that, and especially if you have children in the home, make sure that those are locked up. So that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Do you address maybe having conversations with them, or is that a personal choice?
Children? Are we talking about children? Oh yeah, my child is, from the time he was able to talk, we educated him on the weapons that we have in our house. My husband is a former officer as well, so we would always have guns around in our safe or secured, but you never know if he might get into mischief, figure out how to open the safe, and we wanted him to know how to handle those, so that's super important.
And then speaking of kids, kids might be home alone for a little bit of time. If they're old enough and it's appropriate and we're safe and we're okay with that, what kind of conversations do you have with your kids about staying home alone? And
I think it's just being aware, making sure they know your phone number. I know it seems silly and funny, but there's an age where you start making them recite it because A, they're never going to forget that. Hopefully you don't change your phone number, but they're never going to forget it. Like my mom's phone number is buried in my head from when I was a kid. And that is important because anytime they feel, it's just like what we tell the public, anytime they feel uncomfortable, let us know. Someone's at the door. If you're going to leave your kids home, one of our requirements, our kids got to that age, we had the little doorbell cameras that a lot of people have now. Take advantage of those. Have them have a plan. Make sure neighbors may know. Hopefully you're comfortable with at least one neighbor that, hey, Billy's at home alone for the next hour. Can you just, there's an issue, let me know.
all great stuff. So thanks, guys, for coming and sharing your knowledge and your experience. You can visit phoenix.gov/police and learn more tips about keeping your home and property and person safe through crime prevention through environmental design. It also happens that we're hiring too. So if you go to joinphxpd.com, learn how you can be a part of the solution in your neighborhood, help solve crime by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org and call 480-WITNESS. And again, that address is phoenix.gov/police or joinphxpd.com. I want to thank the crew for producing. Viewers and listeners, hey, you can catch the video versions of the call box on our YouTube channel. And until next time, we want everybody to remember to safeguard your stuff, take it, lock it, hide it, and be safe out there.